As journalists, we receive information from a variety of sources, both offline and online, and it's important to distinguish between what is factual or objective and what is subjective, opinion or commentary. And in recent months, we've seen the emergence of new categories of these so-called news, what is fake news, and what is alternative fact. Now, these two have different meanings. I would not describe these outlets which generate so-called fake news as news outlets at all. They are in the business of fabrication and falsehood. They generate false content designed to be clickbait to lure people to click through and make this content go viral as a result through sharing. Now, increased views and readership from unsuspecting readers leads to increased ad revenues for these sites. And so don't be unwittingly victim to these tactics, because as a result you will end up helping them generate more revenue. And the irony is that some of these news websites are even more popular than genuine news websites, thus depriving real news organizations of much needed ad revenue as a result. Technology has disrupted the news industry to such an extent that news organizations no longer have exclusive control over the platforms of dissemination, which traditionally, as you and I know, were print, television and radio. This day and age, they're now competing in an age of distributed content against anyone who has access to social media networks and chat apps. And this means that they are no longer competing amongst themselves, fellow news organizations, to be the fastest. They're now competing with anyone who has access to social media and chat apps, who may be disseminating news, whether true or false, but who may not have those ethical considerations as journalists, or may not be necessarily accurate as well. And this has implications for news organizations because they pride themselves in accuracy and ethical journalism. But responsible news organizations will never sacrifice accuracy for speed. It's important for them to get their facts right, because if they don't, they will lose the credibility and trust of their readers. Now, non-news industry players do not have to live with such consequences. Well, we journalists, by our very nature and training, maintain a very healthy skepticism over any information we come across. And there's a hierarchy of verification that runs through our minds, which can be sort of visualized as 3 concentric circles. In the middle is first-hand information, which comes directly from the source, which could be a stakeholder or a player directly involved in the story. In the second layer, it could be an eyewitness account. In the third layer, it could be from someone who has heard a tip-off or a rumor. So as we go outwards of this circle, more verification is required. Many news organizations have a 2 reliable source rule, and if there's the slightest doubt, more verification or corroboration is required. When coming across something that's newsworthy or headline-grabbing, before you instinctively decide to share it with family and friends, check the source of that information first. Is it from a reliable news site, or is it from some obscure source that you've never heard about? If it's the latter, check the About page of that organization, and also look across the internet for other alternative sources of the same or similar news. Chances are, if it's true, it's probably been covered by other well-known news sites. So don't fall victim to such hoaxes, and don't disseminate information that is not true and that which may cause unnecessary alarm, or worse, cause people to act on the information, in which case then sometimes the consequences can be pretty severe.